Okay, on the bench here, you can see the brake actuator, and this fella here, with this little centraliser on there, that pulls on the brake. When you put your foot on the pedal, it pulls it forward and expands your brake here. So we have to assemble this. Now, first up, there's a new brake rubber. I can't remember the number of that, but I got it off Sparix anyway. So we'll try and feed that down in. And they're a tight little bugger of a thing to do. We can sort of try and push it down through. Give it a push without poking a hole in it. That'll be a good thing, wouldn't it? There we go. So that's in a good place, and what happens once it's on the tractor, yeah, that pushes in through there and away you go. So now, when you pull the brake on, you pull this fella, so he goes that way with the half moon facing up. Now, I've painted these with, I've sandblasted them a bit and painted them with this rust converter. And on the bench here, it makes them very, very black, so probably a bit hard to see. But look, no worries there. Now, this is the left-hand side, and this housing's good for left or right. You can see I could have cleaned that up a little bit better, but anyway. The pin that goes through, so once you have the lever there like that, well, if you put the pin through from the outside to the inside, when the diff housing is just here, that gives you room to get the pin out if you ever need to later on. So all I'd like to do now, I seem to have a lot of shadows today, so I just like to grease that pin up with a bit of LSA red lithium grease. Why am I using that? Because it's what's here. We don't get too worried about grease on a pin. Any grease is good grease, I think. And that pin fits through nicely. Give that a wipe up, get some of the grease off so the paint wants to stick when I want to have a bit of a paint. A bit windy outside. I don't think you'll hear it though, but we'll see. You might hear the doors rattle a little bit today. So we'll, right on cue, they're rattling, so that's all right. I might have to wedge them yet just to take the rattle away. If we just open that, pop the ends off. So that's the actuator. That's all there is to it. This little cutout here, that's where the bolt sticks out to hold the axle on. That gives it a bit of room for that. So, yeah, look, that's looking okay. Not much more we can do there. Now, where this bolts onto the housing, look, there's no gasket or anything. There doesn't need to be. It's a dry brake, but in saying that, I do like to just put a little swipe of Loctite 515 on there. Look, it just seals it up, you know, it seals the housing up and all that. That being black there, I could actually tidy that up a little bit more, which I might just yet. But look, we'll go over to the final drive now and we'll start putting a few brake parts in, eh? Okay, we're over here on the final drive now, and this is our axle. This goes into the side gear on the diff, and away we go. It turns it around, then we have the brake here. Now the brake has a slight little crack there. Look, that's nothing to worry about. We're not concerned at all. I'm just going to puff a little bit of graphite on the splines there. And that's just to keep it flowing nicely. So I'll get the air nozzle. Give that a blow there, so that should be good. Now what we need to look at is these brake discs. Now they need to go on that spline, and that's what you want to see. You want to see that nice and free. So when these get rusted up, the brake expands and pushes them out, but then they get stuck on the splines and they don't want to release. So you have a brake hanging on. So what we need to do is pop this fellow in now. And you can see the grooves, these little pieces here, they support it, so when you pull it, it has something to work against. Now this little disc here, he's looking good. There we go, so that's looking nice. Now what we need to do now is bring the top cover over here. We could actually bolt this side bit on, but look, I might do that a bit later. Now, the side cover, that's this bloke here that we put the seal in and buggered the seal up on. I'm sure you remember that. Now, it only goes on one way, so you can see the bolt holes here for locating. Now you don't need to put anything on here. Yeah, look, there's no need. It's a dry compartment. So yeah, there's usually no real need to do anything. But what we do have to do is try and bring that over there nice and gentle and line these little Allen key bolts up here. So if we bring them up like that, I'll give this a bit of a wind just to bring it back up into the screen for you. And these are 5/16 UNF Allen head, countersunk Allen head screws, and to put them on you'll need a 3/16 AF Allen key. So what I am going to do though is a bit of CRC copper anti-seize. She's a bit sticky today. We'll pop them in there. Now these Allen head screws here, look, they're just to hold it in place for assembly. So they're not doing the whole job, as in holding the whole final drive together or the whole brake together or anything like that. So we'll just nip them up there like that. And so I'm nipping them up like that so I know that they're sitting exactly where they need to be. And now I'm just going to back them off and just bring them up firm there. I've had to drill these out in the past and that's no fun at all. So when we turn our brake there, or turn our axle, we should be able to, oh, that's working well. Look, I'll spin this around. Okay, this is where this housing goes on that I was showing you earlier. Now I've just got a little smear of Loctite 515, or in Australia I use Bearco R51. And look, all we need to do here is bring that bolt, that adjusting bolt through. Now support that as you push it on, so you don't push the rubber back out again. Oh, excuse me for a second. This is getting away on me. Make sure that goes through like that. Get both bolts started. Now we get them started before the before we start tightening them up. That way you can just wiggle it around a bit and get it to where you need it to be. I'll grab my 11/16 spanner. And all we can do here, we just nip him up. Okay, so I'll see if I can get a bit of spray on there. The can's blocked up a bit. All right, so we'll put a bit of grease on there. Grease on the pivot there. And this fella here slides on. Then this bloke comes in over top. Now I think this nut is not going to be the standard UNF. I think being an aftermarket nut, it's probably, I'll just try a 5/8. Yep, 5/8 works. Now don't get too excited about tightening this up. So that's pulling the brake on. Now the brake adjustment for this setup is when your pedal's, I think, 2 inches down or 2.5, something like that. But for the moment, you've got to have it so it's nice and loose and there's no heat. And look, I've probably got, well, probably 1/2 inch, 9/16 sticking out there. But you don't want any tension on that at all. So you want it sloppy like that for the moment, and that way you know if you're driving around you haven't got any chance of the brake sort of being half on and pulling. So I'll try and turn the axle over now. Now I'll grab my hammer over here just to use the, because Jeff likes me using me hammers. Okay, so you can see that axle turning. Look at that. So that's working the brake with very little effort, really. So I believe once I get the tractor going, this will be a nice brake. Oh, yeah, I can't turn that. So there you go, that's all we'll do for the moment for assembling the brakes. I do have another whole final drive to work through and assemble yet. I'm not going to film that. It's the same story as this one here, so there'll be nothing new there. But yeah, I suppose next we could prop the crown wheel in and put this housing on the tractor and just check backlash and things like that. But anyway, we'll work our way towards that. I notice I still have the PDO shaft and the PDO seal to do yet, so yeah, we might look at that.